My mother's words still echo in my head. Your brother needs this more than you. I was standing in my university research lab, the place I had built with years of sleepless nights, failed experiments, and endless determination. Just hours earlier, I had been announced as the youngest ever recipient of the Newman Grant, a prestigious award for groundbreaking research in neuroscience. It was supposed to be the proudest moment of my life. Instead, I watched in horror as my mother swept her arm across my workstation, shattering delicate equipment, scattering slides, and destroying months of meticulous research. My father stood by the door, blocking any chance of escape. And my brother Kevin leaned casually against the wall, smirking. "Kevin's ready to go back to school," my mother hissed. "This grant could change his life. Don't be selfish." I wanted to scream. Kevin had already failed college 3 times. He partied, he drank, he quit when things got hard. And now, after I had finally achieved something extraordinary, my parents were here to take it from me and hand it to him. But what they didn't know was that I was recording everything on my phone. And the security cameras were capturing every detail. When my father growled, "Family helps each other. Your brother has struggled while everything comes easy to you." Something inside me snapped. Easy. 8 years of back-breaking research wasn't easy. Working holidays and weekends while Kevin burned through my college fund wasn't easy. Carrying debt, fighting for every opportunity, and finally winning this grant wasn't easy. "Touch that. Cabinet and I'll press charges," I said, my voice steady despite my pounding heart. For the first time, my family froze. They were used to me being the quiet one, the peacemaker. But this time, I was drawing a line. Kevin scoffed. "You wouldn't dare." I held up my phone, the recording still running. "Try me." That was when security burst in, followed by Dr. Harrison, the head of my department. The destruction was undeniable. My family, who always thought they were untouchable, were suddenly powerless. And I pressed charges. The next morning, I sat in front of the university board. 12 administrators watched the footage of my mother smashing equipment, my father blocking the door, Kevin smirking like he owned the place. Over $300,000 worth of damage. I thought they might blame me, that somehow it would still be my fault. But instead, they asked the question that changed everything. "Dr. Mitchell, why has your family been trying to sabotage your work?" And for the first time in my life, I told the truth. About the stolen college fund. About the graduations they skipped because Kevin was in trouble. About the constant pressure to give up everything I worked for, so Kevin could have another chance he never earned. The board fell silent. And then Dean Anderson leaned forward. "We will press charges. We will increase lab security. And Dr. Mitchell, we're doubling your grant." I couldn't believe it. For years, my family had dragged me down. And in one terrible night, their actions had finally set me free. But the story wasn't over. That evening, I received an email that made my heart stop. It was from Dr. Alina Martinez, head of the Global Neuroscience Institute. "Your research interests me, but your integrity interests me more. I had a similar experience with your brother Kevin 3 years ago. He tried to steal one of our junior researchers' work. Let's talk." So Kevin had been sabotaging others long before me. And now the truth was coming out. But then came the call that shattered everything I thought I knew. It was from my grandmother, Sarah. She said your grandfather left a trust fund for your education. Half for you, half for Kevin. Your father used Kevin's share years ago, but he hid yours. You struggled all these years, worked multiple jobs, and took out loans, while your own father kept your inheritance from you. My legs went numb. All those nights crying over bills, the stress of debt, the sacrifices had been unnecessary. The money was there. My father had simply stolen it. The trust lawyers were already preparing charges. And suddenly, my parents weren't just guilty of sabotage, they were guilty of fraud. 3 months later, my life looked nothing like it had before. I was standing in my brand new lab at the Global Neuroscience Institute. A team of brilliant young scientists worked alongside me, using equipment I had once only dreamed of. My research was fully funded, protected, and celebrated. The trust lawyers recovered my inheritance with interest. Kevin's academic fraud was fully exposed, ensuring he would never leech off another researcher again. My parents were facing criminal charges and civil lawsuits, and for the first time in my life, I was free. I looked at the destruction my family had caused months ago and realized something. Sometimes, what feels like the end of everything is really the beginning. They thought they were teaching me about family loyalty, but instead they taught me the most important lesson of all, that sometimes the best thing family can do is show you who they really are, so you can finally stop making excuses for them and start living the life you were meant to live.